In today's video, I'm going to show you all you need to know about the Jade facial roller, how to hold the unit, how to roll it, the patterns of movement throughout the face and neck for the best optimal lymphatic drainage, what not to do with the Jade roller, and stay tuned till the end because you're going to be an expert in this. So I'm going to demonstrate a Jade facial roller. I use the Jade roller for multiple reasons. When I have a bad headache, especially if it's a sinus headache, when I wake up with congestion, or I'm just feeling tired, or I wake up, or at any point of the day, even at the end of the day, where I start to feel, or I look like I'm, everything's starting to sag, or I feel puffy. And especially in hot climate in the summer, it's easier for us to, inflame a bit if you are eating or drinking hot inflammatory foods or alcohol. What I like to do is I keep mine in the fridge because I have kind of a mix of skin. I have more hot sensitive skin, like pitta skin. So if you have sensitive skin and you tend to break out in heat rashes or red blotchiness in hot weather, you want something cooling. So put your Jade roller in the fridge. You don't really need to. It's quite cooling. It's a cooling stone. But I like to keep in the fridge, especially, or the freezer sometimes. I keep one in the freezer, one in the fridge. The frozen one I use if I have a massive headache, and instead of dumping a hot pack, instead of dumping an ice pack on my head, I will just roll a frozen Jade roller over these points where I have the headache. If it's just stress related, I bring out the one that's in the fridge. So let's get started. First thing you want to do is make sure your grip is soft. You're not holding this tight. If you're holding it tight, you're actually going to end up pushing it too far into the skin. And you don't want to do that. If you're trying to stimulate, if you're just trying to cool everything down or release muscle tension, I wouldn't use cold, first of all. I would use just your bare hands. But if you're trying to drain the lymphatics, then you want to, and you're draining the toxins out, the congestion, you don't want to grip this tight and you don't want to push in because the lymphatic duct system and the lymph nodes just under the surface of the skin. You push too hard, you're not doing anything for the lymph. So you're really just holding it, touching the skin, and gliding it. So I like to use a 2 to 3 finger contact. I never hold it like this because we tend to push too hard and we get too intense. That's rule number 1. So your grip is really important. You can use obviously your dominant hand. If you feel awkward going to the other side with your non-dominant hand, I suggest try it because when you use your non-dominant hand, you're less likely going to push in too hard unless you're nervous that you're going to drop this thing. So just go light and just literally just let it roll. It's rolling for a reason. The small end is great around the eyes, okay, right here. And the larger size Jade roller is good for the cheeks and the bigger parts, so the neck area. And let gravity do its course in terms of the motion, and just, it's in the wrist, okay? So I don't know if many people cover this in videos, but I know it's all the same strokes that you see in other videos, out towards the ear, down towards the supraclavicular area, just above the collarbone here. But I like to just show you the grip as well and the technique. If you just let your wrist do the job here, I'm going to move over so you can see that. So from here, and your wrist goes down. Now you're taking a little bit of stress off the whole shoulder complex. And I like to explain this because if you're doing this on a regular basis, morning and night, or just nighttime or morning, and you have shoulder issues, shoulder tendonitis or stiff shoulders, it's going to be hard to do this. So just keep your arm up there and just let the wrist and the hand fall and follow the wrist. Does that make sense? So comment below if you have any other techniques. It is in the technique, and it is in the pattern of how you use a Jade roller, and it is in the pressure of how much pressure you use, which is next to no pressure. Let the Jade Roller do its thing. Now I'm going to show you the patterns of how I use the Jade Roller going through the motions. And the idea is to assist the lymphatic drainage in the natural direction of the flow. So the larger end, as I mentioned last time, is going to be used for the lower face and the forehead and the neck. And what you want to do is I like to start with the lower neck. So I start here, and I remember I just kind of let the hands follow the wrist and here. Then I go up higher, right? I will go in front. This is called the sternocleidomastoid muscle. And these are the two diagonal meaty, ropey muscles that you have along your neck. So there's an anterior chain in front towards the midline, and then there's one behind it. So you want to get behind it too. And you always want to end right here. This is the jugular ductal area where all the lymph from the head and neck, face collects right here, and then it goes through its path. And then from here, under the jaw, right here, slowly. And then here, this is where you're going to go up towards the front of the ear. This is the other collection point, and this is the parotid area. So it sits right on top of the parotid gland, and then from here, you bring the roller down. You can go across the lips and the mouth. This is great for that sagging skin we get, like towards the end of the day, right here. And then the cheeks from the nose to the ear point and down, and then here and down. So with the Jade Roller, you can do 3 to 5 strokes outward. Always go towards the duct area where the lymphatics drain towards the ear, and then downward. And then you take the small one and you go around the eyes. So close your eyes here. And this is great to do over if you have a mask that's not too drippy, you can roll, and that helps penetrate the nice qualities of whatever mask, clay mask, or whatever mask you choose to use. And then go back to the larger point. I like to go upwards first, and then over, up and over, up and over, right here, this way, and then to the ear, and then down. So comment below if you have any other ideas of how you have your own system, how it works for you. And maybe this will help you, especially if you have facial congestion when you wake up in the morning or even late in the day.